Good evening and welcome on behalf of the Graduate School of Urbanism of Higher School of Economics. You probably know that every Wednesday we have lectures here in Dostoevsky Library, but it's not every Wednesday that we have a Polish night like today's. We are very grateful to the Polish Cultural Centre who made this collaboration possible. It started last year, maybe a year ago, and since then we've had a number of lectures and discussions and a conference and even a publication in Nowe Gazeta, which was a result of this collaboration and the visits organized by the Polish Cultural Centre of Polish experts and urban planners and urban designers to Moscow. And to us, the Graduate School of Urbanism, it's been quite revealing how much we can actually learn from the Polish experience. Both our countries have a lot in common. We are both socialist countries. We have been going through a lot of quite radical transformations that involved economy and political systems and social life, and also the urban mentality. But it is probably true to say that Poland has been quite more advanced than us in terms of democratization of urban planning processes and urban management. And I think this is this very aspect that could be the point of interest where we could learn a lot. And our distinguished speaker today, Pan Yaworski, is an urban planner but also urban activist and someone who's been involved in a lot of bottom-up initiatives and urban projects involving citizens. And I think this is something that that is very exciting, especially for us in Moscow, where we tend to think of urban transformation projects as something coming from top down, always large scale, and very rarely involving citizens. And unfortunately, this is bound to cause troubles in the long term and probably short term perspective as well, because despite how good this transformation project might seem, they're bound to result in certain antagonism and rejection just because citizens feel they're not involved and they feel this alienation. So this is one of the reasons why I think Pavel Yaworski's intervention here today would be particularly exciting, and we could hear a lot of positive and maybe negative examples as well coming from Poland, and maybe learn how we could proceed, which mistakes we could avoid, and what is the way to the glorious urban future. Thank you very much, and I'd like just to give floor to, sorry, now this is my memory problem, Mr. Leszek Kazimierski, who is the Deputy Director of the Polish Cultural Centre for the School of Creating. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to make a long speech. I just want to thank you for invitation, and I hope you will enjoy this lesson, and I wish you a lot of useful and good information from Mr. Pavel Yaworski. Thank you very much.
Great. That's the right position here. Yeah. Great. Thanks a lot. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Pavel, and I'm an architect and philosopher, and I live in Poland, in Warsaw, in the capital city of Poland, and work in several cities. And I'm an urban planner right now. I would like to tell you about my experience and experience of my friends, a group of architects who are engaged in a social process of producing architecture. So I will be speaking about common space, not public one, because public space is only formal. It's something you can see outside, but the lack of social value is very visible. So I'm focused on social aspect. I mean social relations which are in space, and I'm interested in producing a space, preparing a space, spatial projects in a special way, in a participatory way. I'm interested in participation in urban planning, in urban design, and so on. So this title and subtitle tells you all about my lecture. So, okay. Sorry, I don't speak Russian, so I don't understand your questions in Russian. If you want to ask me it in that way, as you said, we are in transition. There is a special point in history because we are now changing our design tools. I mean, cities in Poland are built. All of them are built. We don't prepare huge projects because we don't need them, and we are now focused on urban renewal and revitalization. That's our main task. That's why we are focused on urban acupuncture, on small projects, on transforming of public space, on participatory planning. That's why we are architectural activists and not master plan designers, as in Russia. That's why we are looking for design, for architectural design, which is which is based on our architectural background and on art, on sociology, psychology, environmental one, and so on. And why does it work like this? New development ideas, it's obvious. We are now working with sustainable mobility. It's a European Union priority. That's very important to focus in city development on this idea. We are working with urban renewal, as I said before. Democratization of a public sphere is very important part of development of Polish cities. We have a special part of our society, city movements, foundations or informal groups who are interested in city development, and they are dealing with it. They are working, they cooperate with city halls or local governments, or they work against them. So it's very typical in Poland, and we have also some kind of a group in the whole country, the net of city movements. So foundations and groups from all cities cooperate one with each other, and they're learning together how to deal with architectural issues. Also, we have a huge discussion about costs of development. We have a new Spatial Planning Act. We are forced. We urban planners have to think about it. How much does it cost to develop the city? And we are also preparing for transformation of European Union funding system. We will have money for development. We'll have only 7 years to use this money for development, and after all, we have to use our own money, and it will change the architecture and urban planning. And also we discuss about responsibility of an architect. If we are only responsible for design, or our responsibility is also a social process of producing of public space and architecture. And how does it work in reality? What we are really doing in public space. Oh. Our first point of interest, multifunctional solutions. That's my favorite building. opera house in Oslo. It's because of its roof. That's a simple roof. I mean, there is a concert hall below it, but it's a very important part of public space of the city. You can bike there, you can meet your friends, you can sit there, discuss about public issues, and it works as a real public and common space. It's very active, and that's an inspiration to work in the same way in a smaller scale. I mean, scale of Polish cities. It's hard to change slides using this mouse. Great. And there is a group in Warsaw. They are called Urban Sports Square. That's a foundation, and they are involving architects to deal with the problem of a lack of social relations in a public space, and they are looking for a social value using sport and recreational activity. And they are saying us that sport is a democratic activity. I mean, that's a space for everyone, and you are included in sport activity, even if you are old, young, and that's the best way to change urban space using this sport activity. And that's why we are interested in mixed-use design. They prepared some kind of a prototype that was their first project. It was prepared by this foundation and Museum of Modern Art in Warsaw, and it was a real urban sports square. They tested some idea. I mean, they prepared an architectural project inside this museum, and as you can see, they were trying to give us an image of such a square. How does it work? What it contains? And their central problem was to find the link between design activity, between architecture and sport or recreation, and they were trying to do it in that way. They made also social research because they were interested in how to measure how to find the way to check if it works in a good way. They were also interested in responsibility for a space. They were looking for, as I said, as it's written, regulation without rules, because there is a problem in Polish architecture that urban design areas in public city which are newly built, they don't have owners. I mean, they are built and they are destroyed by inhabitants, dwellers, and they were trying to find the best way to protect before it. And this prototype was the beginning of their design activity. Whoa. Here you can see how does it work. And they prepared a real urban square in Warsaw. It is a housing district, which is on an outskirts of Warszawa, of Warsaw, and this urban square is a real center of this district. Because there is no public space in this area. There are only empty spaces between blocks, and they were able to put a central function in this area using their idea. the second point, the sustainable mobility, the problem how to use a public space for transportation, and we are now wondering how to invent the public space which can be used by all people, not only cars, by people moving not only by cars, and what is the architectural consequence of this type of thinking about urban development. And there is also a huge academic and social critique of modernistic transportation planning. There is a problem with huge roads which are crowded by cars, with air pollution and so on. And we are looking for urban design solutions for public space, which is livable street, not road used only by cars. And the best solution for this problem is Wonerv. Or Wonervs, several Wonervs we built in Łódź, and Łódź is a city in central Poland. They do it. The first Wonerv was built in the city. And it was idea prepared by a local NGO. It's called Normal City Phenomenon Foundation, and they prepared it as a project in a participatory budgeting process. This project was prepared by them, by dwellers, entrepreneurs, and it was submitted and selected. It was one of the most popular projects in this process. And it was funny because architects and urban planners from Łódź were against it. So they prepared letters protesting against the building of this area, of rebuilding of this area. But it was a participatory process. So president, head of City Hall decided to build it. The rule of participatory budgeting tells you that you should do the project which was selected by inhabitants, and this street look like this. And formerly it was only a simple road full of cars without any commerce on the first floor of buildings. The third context of our activity is participatory planning or design. The architecture, this type of design, which is based on workshop or is prepared in cooperation with sociologists and psychologists. We are developing this type of design because of policy priorities. There is a National Urban Policy Act. It's a very important legal document which tells us that revitalization is a development priority in Polish cities, and we architects are looking for tools which can help us to prepare better urban renewal projects. And we are working in derelict areas, housing estates or inner cities of historical cities in Poland, and we are preparing projects for public space. We are trying to transform it to a livable space for dwellers, inhabitants of this area. And this photo shows a workshop led by Odblokuj Society. It's a society from Warsaw, and it was led by Marlena Happa, who is now the most important architect in Poland. Head of Department of Architecture in Warsaw. Yeah, it would be easier.
I don't know if it's going to work, but
Yeah. Yeah. So, to show you the process, how it works, and what we can achieve during this type of planning. That is a regeneration project of a courtyard in Katowice. I was working with a group of architects and sociologists and students of Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice. And we were dealing with a problem of the problem was a conflict between two groups of inhabitants. They were interested in building a playground, but some of them were interested in a walled small playground, and some of them wanted to rebuild the whole area to make a real good public space in their neighborhood. And we were involved by Academy of Fine Arts. It was a little bit crazy and complicated, but we got the invitation to join the group, and we had a meeting in a Katowice local in City Hall of Katowice, and we prepared the huge workshop. It was a three-step process. At the beginning, we made a diagnosis. We were making some investigations. We made a social survey. We checked all of this technical stuff we do every time. We made planning workshops, and after all, we decided we should prepare a management process. Yeah, how to check and how to make it work after designing. And that's why we cooperate with dwellers, with a group of them, and we call them owners of this area. They were responsible for preparing the last form of project, and for cooperation with the city hall after the whole process. And the workshops took place in local school, in local secondary school. We had 3 meetings and also meetings in between. We prepared some new kind of architectural language to make visualizations visible or legible for everyone who is involved. They were always public. We put them on a website to discuss what we have done. And that's why this group of owners were felt responsible for working with this project after design process. This photo on the right shows you the meeting which was prepared by dwellers, not by us. They were discussing with architects about details of their projects, and now it's under construction. During this year it's under construction, and at the end we had first designed project for a public space. I mean, the problem of Polish architecture for public space is that we are preparing typical projects, and we are making a copy in all places we work. And this area was designed from the beginning to the end. We also prepare temporary architecture. It's connected with culture. I mean, it's an architecture for culture. Some kind of small elements who are put in a public space, and they cooperate with their neighborhood. They are splitting the activity all over around. It can be a pavilion, it can be a container, or some kind of architectural installation. That's an installation. Sorry, that's an installation I prepared with a Polish artist. It's a tube to communicate between two floors of some kind of local culture for children. And I would like to show you some projects prepared in several cities. That's not mine projects. The first one is Container in Poznań. It was the first container project built in Poland, in a greenfield area on a riverbank. It's this Marta river. It's in a city center. It's a very important place for Poznań, and that's why it's a center of public activity, of recreational activity during the summertime. But you know, it's only a greenfield. It's a place without any function. So architects were looking for some kind of temporary architecture which can be put there only for a while, only for several months, and can be a center of nightlife, center of commerce, of course, and the center of local culture. So they prepared a small container city, and as you can see, that's a place for concert. There is also a bar, a place for workshop, and the local gallery. This project was very successful because it's working. It worked. No, it's prepared every year. Yeah, during summertime. And here you can see how it looks and how it really works. It's only a temporal one. The second one of my favorite, it's Polegiwacz in Wrocław. It's a place where you can sit, you can talk with your friends. It's a place without any solid type of use or function. It was built from wooden elements in front of the Museum of Architecture in Wrocław. It is situated in a former medieval cloister, and it was also a greenfield area between the head of this museum and a huge parking place. This was also a place without function, and architects prepared some kind of architectural installation which can be used in a different way by all of users. There was a small cafe which you can see on the right, but you were able to stay there without buying anything there. And that was very important, that you were able to stay there for free and to discuss or do nothing for the whole day. And that's why it became some kind of cultural center of Wrocław for the whole summertime. It was working 3 years ago. And the last temporal project, a room for the summer. This installation was built in the area of the Warsaw Uprising Museum. So it's a place connected with martyrology, with history of the Second World War. And this museum is walled. It's separated from the neighborhood by a huge wall, and it's a real problem of urban planning of this neighborhood, because it stands by the main street of Wola district, and this museum and city architects are planning to connect this area with the street. And they decided that they can check if it works using temporal pavilion. And this pavilion was built over the wall. And it became a city it became a place for dwellers, for concert, for workshops, and also a place for dancing. Yeah, and it was the only one place where you can dance in a public space in Warsaw. And at the end, city architect decided, okay, it was very fruitful, the idea is very good, so we will prepare a bigger project for this area, and we will rebuild and we will build the connection between museum and the street, and it will be a part of a good public space net in Wola district. Yeah, and this project is a good starting point for the last group of urban ideas. I mean prototyping. We are now trying to develop this way of thinking about urban space. That's my favorite project based on prototyping ideas. It was built in Memphis for several days. City Hall was trying to check if you can transform a busy road into a place of commerce and a place for playing, for recreation, and they weren't sure if it works when we will make this line of parklets, this line of city garden, I don't know how to call it. And the funny thing is that urban planners in this type of work are using the tools taken from programming. I mean, programmers are using prototyping to check if the application works good, and to check if we are using all resources, and if we are using it in a correct way. And the first project I would like to show you is a project of Łukasz Pancewicz, who was here last year. And it's a research made in Gdańsk. I will tell about in 5 minutes, but I would like to describe the idea. So, what's the basic problem? There are several of them, but the most important is the lack of social control over urban planning. I mean that we are preparing projects, and inhabitants or dwellers of the city doesn't know what we would like to achieve, and what will be how this space will work after rebuilding. And prototyping is a good tool to show you the consequence of your activity, of your idea. We have also a problem with shrinking resources. I mean that you have a small amount of money, and you would like to prepare a good project, and you don't know what does it mean, good project, and you don't know if you have enough money. So you would like to have some tool to check all this information. And unknown expectation and unknown conditions. It's a basic problem in urban design. You don't know what dwellers want. You don't know what entrepreneurs want. You don't know what City Hall wants, and everyone has only expectations which are not visible for you as a designer. So you are using planning. You are using design as a research tool. So we are preparing a small project to check, and you are putting it into a public space, and you are looking what is happening. You are making some observation. You are working with social researchers to check what is going on in a public space. And in Gdańsk on Długi Targ Street, Łukasz and his team built a place for sitting and resting. It was a very simple project, but a smart one. They have taken a lot of benches and they put them on a street in several places, and they were watching what people do, how they sit, what they do during sitting, if they are alone or if they are a group of tourists, of dwellers. And after one part of testing, they change the whole composition and make observation one more. There was a second turn of observations. And they were doing it for the 2 months. They interviewed people who were on the street, and they prepare a huge report at the end showing that the best way, the best idea for the space is it looks like this, and they put it to a city hall. So that's a design idea to search these possibilities, yeah? This possible solution which can be the best one. And project I'm working on right now, Livable Street. We used this project from Memphis, but we transform it to make something in scale of Poland, and there was two livable streets in Katowice, in southern part of Poland. We prepared a prototype of a good public space on a street, on a central street of the city. It was very simple. We made a bike line, we made a place for sitting, we took some little trees from a local shop, and we were discussing with people how do they feel, what they can work in this area, and we also made some transportation research. So we prepared research by design tool, yeah, to check how to transform the areas with a basic function, with traffic as a basic function. And we were checking, we were trying to find the best way of rebuilding of this place. It was made without city hall, and that's why it was an activist project. But we were trying to show that this area, which is dominated by cars, can be changed into a livable street. And this project was very inspiring for us and for other cities. That's why we are preparing livable streets in Warsaw, in Krakow, and in Gliwice right now. And in this turn, we are working with city halls, with local governments, and with universities, because we are trying to make it better. We are trying to prepare better research part of this project. And the funniest thing is that we met with Jan Gell. He was in Gdańsk 2 weeks ago, And he's using photos from our action as a good example of urban transformation of urban streets. And that shows us that it's maybe a good way of designing and of looking for better design solutions. Thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, and maybe there is some idea or some project which is interesting for you, or would you like to hear more about it?
Yes, I think we have a bit of time left for questions and answers.
Yeah.
So if you have some questions, you can ask them in. You can ask. I can ask. Well, I suggest we use the microphone because it's being recorded. Okay. Let's see that it works. And if someone wants to ask a question in Russian, you can do that. We'll translate.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for the lecture. And I've got two questions. One about the regeneration of the courtyard.
Yeah.
Because me and my colleagues been doing kind of the same thing in St. Petersburg, also the participatory project, and right now in the process of waiting for the municipality answer and so on. So my question is, how was your work with municipality? Was it their intention, or how they supported you? And did you then get some budget from them, or did you have to raise up the money on some platform and so on? So how was the project developed later? Probably the citizens has helped with urban planning, so landscape design and so on. But this is the first question. And the second question is, do you have any experience with urban gardening? So urban agriculture, probably could tell us something more about that. And the third one is just a small one. Could you please give me your card or contacts?
Yeah, okay.
Desperately needed. So.
Okay. Questions are better. I will be less stressed. So the first one, it was complicated, like everything in Poland. I mean that, because it's an ideal image of all these processes, and the reality is like something like this. At the beginning, there was a conflict, and there was a conflict between dwellers, two groups of dwellers, and between politicians. And that's why we were engaged. City Hall asked us for help, but it was voluntary help. And because they were afraid that this project will be a part of a huge conflict on a city level, not in a neighborhood, but it will be growing all the time, and they will have a real problem. I mean, real problem. So we started working. We have started working with Academy of Fine Arts, and they were making research, and we were working with dwellers to prepare a better project. But City Hall wasn't engaged. I mean, they were looking what we are doing only, and after all, there were two budgets for this project. I mean, the first budget in a department of housing management, and the second one in department of greenery. And they weren't able to communicate one to each other what they should do. I mean, that there were two departments separated. I mean my foundation, Academy of Fine Arts, Department of Public Consultations, two amounts of money and one project, and one group of dwellers, because at the end we prepared, or we designed a group of owners of this project. So it was terrible. and we had several meetings what to do in this situation. And first of all, it was the end of design process. I mean, we had a project. We were trying to deal with all of these departments to solve the problem of management, and they started. It took half of a year, and after all, they put all money into one department. They decided that this department will work with group of dwellers, and we will be head of this group. Will be some kind of leader, and that was the beginning of a good cooperation. Yeah, so that's how it works in Poland. We have also some design processes which are prepared by city hall or city halls, I mean, in several cities, and they are paying us for our work, and it's some kind of a professional process and well designed from the beginning. And yeah, it can also work like this. So this one was terrible, but it's very good because it shows some kind of some problems that you should face during your work. The second question was about urban gardening. No, I don't work with landscape architects, but there are several urban gardening projects in Poland. Some of them are bottom up, some of them are prepared by cities, so by politicians, and that's very funny. But yeah, I can give you more information about the group which are working with this idea, and maybe you can ask them for more information and so on. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you are working here in Russia. You are working here in Moscow on the yard.
I live in Moscow, but we are actually based in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
One person here, but we work in St. Petersburg.
So maybe you will tell me something more about your experience.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you give me your
email,
great.
It would be great to exchange. Yeah.
I have a question to continue the previous one, which was about how you deal with city authorities and city hall. My question is, how do you deal with citizens and dwellers? And you mentioned several times the idea of ownership, which is crucial for such projects, the success of such projects. And both Russia and Poland being a post-socialist country where the whole idea of ownership was essentially destroyed and not practiced for decades, how do you make dwellers and citizens regain the sense of ownership?
Yeah, but this type of ownership I'm speaking about, it's not extension of private ownership, because we have a deep sense of private ownership now in Poland. So we have an obsession on private ownership, that's mine, and it should be walled and separate from public space.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and it's hard to build this type of ownership which is connected with public space. I mean, with the space for everyone, for all dwellers and entrepreneurs and users and so on. And that's why during preparation of project, we are in the same time preparing some kind of workshops which are focused only on this type of management. I mean, we are working with people, telling them how to be a project manager, how to make time schedule for a project manager, how to use management tools during your work, how you can cooperate with City Hall and so on. And we have several meetings only for this. And that's a part of designer work in this type of designing of urban stuff. So we discovered that it's the best way to give people this sense of ownership to design. So we are focused on designing a space and designing a process of designing and building a better public space.
But how do you find those people who are interested, ready to take part? And given this, what you mentioned about general feeling being, this is behind the wall, this is mine, and what is outside the wall, I don't care. How do you deal with that attitude and find those active citizens with different type of conscience?
At the beginning, we were working only with these dwellers who were taking a part in our workshop. But now we start with door-to-door work. So we have meetings with all inhabitants of the area. And we are telling them what we want to do, what is our plan. We are giving them detailed information about time schedule. First workshop is on Monday, and second one is 2 weeks later. And we are looking for people who want to become a leader. And this process is very long. It takes months. This group of leaders is changing till the end. And it works like this. So interviews at the beginning, direct invitations, and workshops.
Any more questions?
Thank you for your lecture. Я хотела спросить. Вы говорили про последний проект, который посвящен активистский проект, который я не очень поняла. Можете подробнее рассказать о последнем проекте и как он реализовывался, как вы вот в этом контексте разговаривали с властями, потому что если это активистский проект, то как он внедрялся, если не было никакого заказа и на какие деньги?
It's about the last project that you described, the activist project. How could you tell a bit more how it was actually implemented? And because it was activist, so apparently there was no direct cooperation with the city authorities. So how was it financed and managed?
It wasn't implemented at the end. It was only a test of this tool because we were making a project focused on public engagement, and one part of this project was transportation. I mean, transportation policy of local government in Katowice. And the main problem of the city was the implementation of such transportation idea. It's called Tempo 30 area. I mean, it's an area where you can move by car. There's a limitation of there's a limitation of speed for cars. And it's a legal tool. I mean, local government can implement such part of transportation policy, and Katowice did it. And there was a group of dwellers who were against it, And the main problem was that it was our idea to do something like this in Katowice. So we felt responsible for all what was happened, and we decided to do something like this to promote the idea of sustainable mobility, to show that there is enough space in inner city streets, and we can use it together. That you can drive a car, you can drive a bike, and you can use your the best transport vehicle free. I mean your foot, and it was only a promotion of this sustainable mobility idea. But during making this prototype, we have found that it's also a good solution for looking a better project. And city wasn't interested in development of this project and this type of and this way of urban design thinking. That's why we will make it in April in several other cities, not in Katowice. But in Warsaw and in Krakow, we are working with city halls, so we are preparing projects that are a part of bigger transformation. In Warsaw, it will be a beginning of a master plan project. I mean, plan for all public spaces of Praga district. It's a derelict district in close to the city center. And in Krakow, we are working with road department that is preparing a huge project for parking area. There is a parking area in the city center, and they have to throw nearly all parking plots away because they are illegal, and we are helping them to communicate this project and to develop a better solution which can be put in the street when you will take the cars off. And we are also working in the inner city space.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so this project was, as I said, only activist one. We are showing how does it work, and if you want to see it as a part of urban policy process, you should join us in April in Warsaw or in Krakow.
One other question. You mentioned, obviously, such projects that involve social research and social interactions, participatory practices, prototyping. It's a lengthy project, and this is probably its main disadvantage for public authorities who always have very short-term goals connected with the election cycles. They need to achieve goals quickly enough to have positive impact and image with the voters. So how do you convince city authorities to do it in this way? Mm-hmm. Because I think, and this is one of the discussions that I had about, Moscow situation, mm-hmm. Which, we never do anything like that at all. It's always, large scale, top down, no citizen involvement. And one of the main arguments is the scale of the problem is so huge, mm-hmm. And we need to act so fast, because otherwise, this mayor goes, next mayor comes, and there'll be another program, and none of that could be really implemented. So we don't have time for all this additional, probably good things like involving citizens, but it's a little bit of extra. We can skip it. Mm-hmm. So how do you manage to convince the city representatives that that's the right way?
That's a good question, because
but you obviously do, because you have projects conflicts with them.
They think that they should involve us when there is a conflict. Yeah. So or there is some kind of a good mayors, because we have good mayors in Polish cities, who think that it's important to involve people, and they are doing it only for involvement, not to achieve some short-term goals. And I think that these two groups of projects you can see in our portfolio. Yeah, that there is a problem, and someone thinks, okay, we'll invite Fix the City Foundation, and they will help us to prepare a better project, and they will help us to solve this spatial conflict. Or there is some kind of good mayor in the city, and he wants to prepare, for example, a urban policy act or a local plan or a project for public space, and do it with dwellers, because he thinks that it would be better one. But there are thousands of urban designs which are prepared by force. So City Hall is paying for a project and doing it as you describe it. So that's not so popular as you may think. It's only some kind of a 1% of urban design in Poland, because consultations are obligatory when you are preparing local plans, but they are not when you are doing urban design projects. So you have to see the value of this work, and if you don't see it, you cannot. We are useless. Yes, we can go to a city hall and talk about abstract ideas, and I had several experience that I was in a city hall speaking with mayor, and he was staring at me, thinking, "Whoa, what a crazy guy," and that was the first and the last meeting.
Do you think it's easier in smaller towns where it's kind of much more small scale and there's more contact probably between city authorities and
No, I think that there is no difference, because there are a lot of participatory planning projects made in Warsaw. It's the biggest city, and it's much more bigger than other cities in Poland. There are projects made in Katowice. It's a medium-sized city, and projects made in villages, in small villages. And I worked in Warsaw, in a medium-sized city, and now I'm working in some villages, and I can see that I can use the same tools in all scales, in all neighborhoods, and the projects works the same. So yeah, but it's obvious that in village it's easier to communicate with people who live there. But when you have a good solution for communication, you can do the same work in a huge city, in a housing district of Warsaw, and you can prepare a good project.
The question is, could you tell us, for example, how we can convince and then involve citizens, local inhabitants, into your projects, especially in the very hard and difficult areas, for example, in Praga?
Yeah. Whoa. Praga is really the relic district of Warsaw. Because it's a city center of Warsaw, but Warsaw is divided by Vistula River, and the left one is a better one, and the right one is Bermudian Triangle, and everything what is bad in the city is there. And this is some kind of stereotype, but the Praga district is area of revitalization, of urban renewal, and now there are a lot of this type of projects in a public space, and one of them is prepared by me, local artist and sociologist. And our idea for involvement is a huge pumped dog. It was designed by Iza Rutkowska, this artist, and we are making workshops using it is 7 meter long, and we are making workshops with this dog. We are playing. Yeah, we are playing. And we are taking it for a trip around neighborhoods. We are barking with this dog over walls, over social problems, and so on. And that's the beginning of a discussion about problems of this area. And it sounds funny, but it really works. And we started barking 6 months ago, and now we think that we should make a school for other crazy people who want to work like this, and we'll prepare a urban project, a classical urban project for this space, and we will involve those people who were engaged during dog work. So you can also use some artistic processual tools to build this engagement. And at the beginning, everyone thought that we are really crazy, that we want to go there and make a project, because they thought that it's impossible, that everyone will tell us, okay, another crazy architect and another crazy artist. We have seen some of them last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and nothing changed. And I don't know if it's good and if it's really good, but there is a group of dwellers we are working with. We have money for next year, and we have money to prepare a project. So I think it's a small success of this type of work.
Do you have other examples in mind in Poland where such participatory practices would have served for the purpose of social integration and reaching out to maybe those people who not necessarily,
they are not a part of middle class. Yeah.
I didn't want to put it in these particular terms, but probably not those people who would actively, you would think, take part in those projects.
There are several projects. I mean, this one with Pumped Dog is not the only one. There are also, they are prepared by architects who live in Bytom. It's close to Katowice. It's also it's a derelict city, really derelict city. And they are rooted in this community. They live there, and they are really engaged in the transformation of this city. There is this group in Warsaw, Odblokuj Society. And as I said, the head of this society is now head of Department of Architecture of City Hall. So it's very funny that she started on a courtyard, and at the end she's the most important architect in Poland. There is my foundation in Katowice. There's some experience in Poznań. So there are some points of the map of Poland where architects are trying to do similar things, but it's not a practice of everyday life of architects.
Yeah. Any other questions?
And the next question is it in Poland a problem with vandalism or damage of your project or installation? If yes, how do you can preserve your installations of this negative activity of local people?
I don't know how to preserve because we have a preservation. We are prepared to deal with this project, with this problem. Sorry, I mean that we are building a group of owners and we are working with dwellers to avoid these situations. And when we have a project, this project is owned by them and it works like this. They are telling us that's our project and you only designed it. So it's okay, it's our success. And they are all the time going to a city hall asking about details, and they are taking care over all of this stuff which you can find on a yard. And they all the time and so they are taking care of this space. Yes, so they are some kind of a local policeman and they are watching on it all the time. It's a huge group, so they can change this role. And yeah, it works like this, so there is no act of vandalism.
This idea is to involve people in process.
Yeah, the idea is to involve them before building, not after building, because involving people after building is not a good idea. I mean, it's better to have a beer than involving people after making design, because this project after making project, because this project is not there. They don't. There is no connection, no link between this solution and their neighborhood, their space. So when someone who is outside the group is responsible for preparing the project, you are thinking about this project as a project of outsider. So, yeah.
Okay, well, if there are no more questions, then probably it's time to thank Pavel. Thank you
Thanks
very
a lot.
much, and we hope you'll come back soon.
Tak, były w Jekaterinburgu. Yeah.
Do you have a
Yeah.
card? Probably.
Yeah, I have a
Because
card.
I don't. The guys are based in St. Petersburg and right now working on the new site and so on. Yes, I'm an architect. Well, and so actually work now at Начало KB.
Yeah.
You know this company?
Yes, I know.
The thing? Yeah, but well, like almost all architects who are involved in big companies. I'll have some stuff that I'm doing with my friends and so like trying to make our own small bureau. And I'm actually.
You are interested in participatory planning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right now we are involved in one huge project in St. Petersburg, when there was a platform, online platform, where citizens from one district of St. Petersburg could add their ideas, like what they want from their district, and then we could pick up. Yeah, we could pick up the ideas that we wanted and speak with these people, work together with them. This thing is connected with urban gardening, and we already met some people and had a discussion and made a basic concept and so on, and we sent it to different departments of the city and waiting for the answer from them. And also right now we're searching for different stakeholders, like companies that could support the project, help with doing a prototype of garden and so on, and also trying to work with the citizens who are activists in their courtyards. They also they already have some things, some stuff happening there, so we are working with them. And when I said about the courtyard, we were also involved in a project where exactly we worked with the courtyard, with the citizens, had a lot of old ladies coming to help us, and that was also a kind of a prototype, because there is a whole district that the municipality wants to develop. Right now we don't know how it will go, because we have to show the projects that we develop with the citizens to the municipality. We don't know if they have budget and so on. I think it will be voluntary work as well as always, because he said, like, we don't have money for competition, like he would like to have an open call, but he probably doesn't have money and so on. But anyway, we are right now in all these participatory things, and also our team works with other teams on a festival in St. Petersburg that also kind of it's like the thing that you did with the parking lots, like when you close part of the street for some period and you put some stuff there. We actually close a part of not a huge part, but several streets in the city center, and also have the places for relaxations, some green stuff and so on for the whole day. But we so a lot of things like we are involved into, and right now searching for someone who's doing the same stuff in other countries, like to know the experience of other people and so on. So
I will give you my card,
sorry for saying a lot,
but tell me who is who? That's mine.
But sorry, I don't have because the guys are working on the design and so on. Yes, I'll send you. Yeah, and right now because there were 3 of us, now there are 5 of us and so on. We decided to just we just came up with a new name for our team and so on, and just started to launch the new site. So like the guys in St. Petersburg, they're doing something, so I don't have a card right now, but I think girls just started a new Instagram for the team. At least like photos with from the first workshop with this urban gardening people. So yes, I will write to you. I think
tell me this project, this first project you have told me about. I mean this courtyard.
No, courtyard.
And urban platform is something different than
it's
courtyard
something
project?
different. Yeah, urban platform is something different. It was originally organized by also a volunteer organization called City Project, translated from Russian.
And they are not connected with local government. They made it independent.
They are, like, they have connections with different departments, and they helped us to send our concepts that we are developing with citizens to different departments, and we are waiting for an answer. So it probably will be supported. But when it comes to the courtyards project, then it was originally there was an organization that is based in St. Petersburg that likes to invite citizens to some projects and communication and so on, and they invited us and also one other small group of architects to help with this courtyard project. And so, but right now we don't know how it will go with the municipality, as always, because they are supporting, but
they are rather observing your
yes, something like that. But like I said, always saying like, we actually don't have money, but could you please do this in 2 weeks or something like that. So it's very.
So they didn't tell you tell you that they have some amount of money and you should prepare a project
Well, we made the first concept with all these active citizens. We were actually really surprised that